methods used to transmit real-time downhole from measurement while drilling tools to the surface. So it works by generating pressure pulses in the drilling mud, which are detected by surface equipment. So also from the advantages of positive pulse, which is reliable in high flow rate, works well in deep wells, long range transmission, which is effective over long distance, low power consumption, which is efficient for extended drilling operation. For the limitations or the disadvantages of positive pulse, which is slower data transmission, limited bandwidth compared to other telemetry methods affected by mud properties, which is works best within incompressible drilling mud, signal attenuation, which is can weaken in deep and high pressure wells. Also for the negative pulse, which is uses a valve in the side of measuring while drilling to bypass some of the fluid reducing standpipe pressure. Also for negative pulse telemetry is another mud pulse telemetry method used in measurement while drilling to transmit downhole data to the surface, which is creates a pressure increase. Negative pulse telemetry works by creating a temporary pressure drop in the mud column. So from the advantages of negative pulse, which is faster response time, less affected by flow rate changes, compatible within different drilling fluids, which is works in both water-based and oil-based mud. For the disadvantages of negative pulse, which is lower signal strength, can be weaker than positive pulse in deep wells, more power consumption, which is requires more energy to operate the valve, also potential interference, which is more susceptible to noise from pump pressure fluctuations. So this is the main concept of the negative pulse telemetry, which is in measuring while drilling instruments. Also for continuous wave, modulates the frequency to generate primary and secondary pressures, which is a type of mud pulse telemetry used in measurement while drilling that transmits downhole data by using a modulated pressure wave rather than discrete pulses. And from the advantages of continuous wave telemetry, which is higher data rate, more stable transmission, which is less affected by noise from pumps, efficient power consumption, which is doesn't require any sudden high power pulses. And for the disadvantages of the continuous wave, which is more complex signal processing, requires advanced surface decoding, more susceptible to mud flow variations, limited depth range, which is signal can degrade over long distance. So this is the main concept of the continuous wave telemetry in the measuring while drilling instrument. Also, to before we continue, before we continuing electromagnetic measuring while drilling, there is a video I want to share it with you on the measuring while drilling.
We hear a lot about MWD in drilling operations, specifically when focused on directional drilling. But what is MWD? MWD stands for measurement while drilling, and that's exactly what it is. The measurements help us determine the orientation of the drill bit, which lets us determine the position of the wellbore and steer the well. These measurements are actively taken while the well is being drilled. A physical measurement while drilling tool, MWD tool, is required. So what is an MWD tool? The most common type of MWD is a magnetic tool. It relies on measurements of the Earth's magnetic and gravitational fields in order to determine the orientation of the bottom hole assembly, much like you would use a compass to determine your bearing. The tool has three magnetic sensors oriented 90 degrees from each other. They are responsible for measuring the Earth's magnetic field. We typically refer to these sensors as BX, BY, and BZ, where the BZ sensor is the long hole sensor. In addition to the tool's magnetometers, there are also three similarly arranged accelerometer sensors. The accelerometers are used to measure the Earth's gravity field, informing us of our orientation relative to vertical or down. They also serve, importantly, as a reference for the magnetometers. Similarly, we refer to them as AX, AY, and AZ, where AZ is the long hole sensor. There are other conventions. Regardless, they all lead to the same measurements. The magnetometer sensors and the accelerometer sensors are aligned to one another. These sensors make up the sensor package of the MWD tool. There is also a telemetry section in the tool, responsible for transmitting the data from the tool to the surface. Mud pulse telemetry is a common transmission mode, where the data is encoded into the drilling fluid as a series of pressure pulses and decoded on the surface, very similar to Morse code. There are other ways of transmitting the data from the tool to the surface, including electromagnetic telemetry and wired drill pipe, although these systems tend to have their limitations. In addition to the sensor package and telemetry sections, there is a power section in the tool to power the instrument. The power section is typically battery or turbine powered, sourcing power as drilling fluid is pumped through the turbines in the tool. The tool is typically programmed to take a measurement, referred to as a survey on connection, when mud flow stops and the BHA is still. So, generally, you can think of an MWD tool as a magnetic sensing tool with telemetry and power sections. But where is the MWD tool located while drilling? The tool is mounted in the bottom hole assembly, or BHA, of the drill string, and is encased in a non-magnetic drill collar. Ideally, we want it as close to the bit as possible without causing measurement issues like magnetic interference or damage to the tool as a result of the harsh drilling environment. An MWD tool mounted upwards of 60 feet or more from the bit is not uncommon, although this varies widely depending on drilling operations.
Okay. So now we can continue. For EMWD, which is electromagnetic measuring while drilling, is a telemetry method that transmits downhole data to the surface by using electromagnetic waves instead of mud pulse telemetry. This method is useful in formations where traditional mud pulse system struggle, such as air drilling or lost circulation zones. From the advantages of electromagnetic measuring while drilling, high-speed data transmission, which is faster than mud pulse method, works in air drilling and low circulation zones, so no need for continuous mud flow. Mediate signal transmission, no delays due to mud column travel time. From the disadvantages of the electromagnetic measuring while drilling, depth limitations, which is from 5,000 feet to 10,000 feet maximum, signal weakness in deep wells, affected by highly conductive formations. Saltwater zones and shales can absorb electromagnetic signals. Power consumption, which is requires high battery power for strong signal transmission. Also for electromagnetic measuring while drilling, which is uses radio waves, works in compressible fluids. For underbalanced, which is a drilling technique where the pressure is in the wellbore is kept lower than the formation pressure, allows hydrocarbon to flow into the wellbore while drilling, reducing formation damage and improving productivity. So now we can continue. For the survey instruments, we have the EMS, which is electronic multi-shots, stores the information in a computer chip like a memory. So once the tool is retrieved from the hole, the survey data is downloaded into a computer, which is called EMS or electronic multi-shot. Okay. For gyroscoping tools, which is an advanced directional measurement instrument used in measurement while drilling and wellbore surveying. It provides accurate wellbore orientation without relying on the Earth's magnetic field, making it ideal for drilling in areas where magnetic interference is constant. So also for the conventional gyro, in a wellbore surveying, which is a mechanical spinning mass gyroscope used for wellbore surveying and directional drilling application. It provides accurate inclination and azimuth measurement without relying on the Earth's magnetic field, making it ideal for environment where magnetic interference is a problem. So also from the advantages of conventional gyro, which is high accuracy in static condition, reliable for non-continuous survey, no need for external reference point, which is self-contained measurement system. Also from the limitations or disadvantages of conventional gyro, which is slow data acquisition sensitive to mechanical shocks, limited accuracy in dynamic drilling, which is actually less effective for real-time measurement while drilling compared to modern fiber optic gyro. Also for the rate or north seeking, which is rate gyros measures the rate of angular changes in wellbore orientation over time. It doesn't determine true north on its own, but can track changes in well trajectory dramatically. So from the limitations of rate gyro, or actually the disadvantages, requires an initial reference, cannot determine absolute north drift over time, which is small errors accumulate in long runs. And for the north-seeking gyro, which is can determine true north independently, making it highly accurate for wellbore positioning, which is in distributed environment, slower data acquisitions, and more expensive, which is higher cost compared to rate gyro. For the ring laser gyro, in wellbore surveying, which is an advanced type of gyroscoping sensor used in wellbore surveying, directional drilling, and measurement while drilling operation. And ring laser gyro, which is uses laser beams in a closed optical path to detect rotational movement, offering high precision and stability without moving parts. And from the advantages of ring laser gyro, which is no magnetic interference, can determine true north, low drift over time, fast and continuous data acquisition. And from the limitations of ring laser gyro, which is higher cost, sensitive to temperature variations, requires compensation for downhole condition, requires power supply, which is continuous operation, needs battery or wired power. So as I said, for the conventional gyro, which is gut direction only, and inclination is still within accelerometer, and as I said, which is a mechanical spinning mass gyroscopic used for wellbore surveying and directional drilling application, which is provides accurate inclination and azimuth measurements without relying on the Earth's magnetic field, making it ideal for environment where magnetic interference is a problem. Conventional gyro must be referenced, so you have to know which way the axis is pointing. Conventional gyro has drift due to imperfections in the gyro and the Earth's rotation. And as we said, also for the applications of conventional gyro, which is or actually the advantages of conventional gyro, which is high accuracy in static condition and no need for external reference point. And for the limitations of conventional gyro, which is low data acquisition, sensitive to mechanical shocks, limited accuracy in dynamic drilling, which is less effective for real-time measurement while drilling compared to modern fiber optic gyro. Okay. As we said, for the rate or north gyro, or actually rate or north-seeking gyro, okay, I will take all the questions at the end of the session today, so please concentrate with me. Also for the rate gyro, which is measures the rate of angular change in wellbore orientation over time. It doesn't determine true north on its own, but can track changes in well trajectory. And from the limitations of rate or of rate gyro, which is requires an initial interference, cannot determine absolute north. Drift over time, which is small errors accumulate in long runs. And for the north-seeking gyro, which is can determine true north independently, making it highly accurate for wellbore positioning in magnetically distributed environments. And for the limitations, which is lower data acquisition, it requires stationary measurement, higher cost compared to rate gyro, which is more expensive than the rate gyro. Also for rate or north seeking, which is determine which way is north without referencing, automatically adjusts for drift electronically, more accurate than the conventional gyro. For ring lasers, gyro, which is uses lasers to get direction, more accurate than the rate gyro, which is has an outside diameter 5 1/4. And also as I said, for the ring laser, which is an advanced type of gyroscopic sensor used in wellbore surveying, directional drilling, and measurement while drilling operation. Uses laser beams in a closed optical path to detect rotational movement, offering high stability without moving parts. And from the advantages of ring laser gyro, which is no magnetic interference, can determine true north, which is ideal for absolute positioning in complex wells, low drift over time, which is more stable than the conventional gyro, and there is fast and continuous data acquisition suitable for real-time wellbore monitoring. For the limitations or the disadvantages of ring laser, which is higher cost, more expensive than the conventional gyro, sensitive to temperature variations, requires compensation for downhole condition. There is continuous operation needs battery or wired power, so it can require power supply. Also, The SAD, which uses lasers to get direction and more accurate than the reed gyro, has an outside diameter which is approximately 5 1/4. For the inertial grade, is the same gyro used for navigation, or the highest gyro used in wellbore surveying, directional drilling, and inertial navigation. They offer extremely low drift rates and high stability, making them ideal for north-seeking gyro tools and inertial navigation system. And from the advantages of inertial grade, which is extremely low drift, thrown north capability, which is no need for magnetic reference, works in all environments, soil dome, cased wells, and high interference zones, no moving parts. For the limitations, which is expensive, high cost compared to tactile or industrial grade gyro, complex calibrations, which is requires temperature and drift compensation. Also, it has an outside diameter 10 5/8. For the logging while drilling, which is LWD, which is tools are added to the measurement while drilling, and the measuring while drilling pulsar sends the information to the surface. Some of the logging while drilling data may be stored in memory and downloaded later. For the logging while drilling, which is LWD, is a real-time downhole measurement technology used to collect geological and petrophysical data during drilling operation. Logging while drilling tools are integrated into bottom hole assembly and transmit critical formation evaluation data to the surface, allowing for optimized drilling decisions. Also for logging while drilling, from the advantages of logging while drilling, which is real-time formation evaluation, reduces wellbore instability risks, improves the reservoir understanding, which is enhances hydrocarbons recovery, eliminates need for wireline logging, saves rig time and cost. For the challenges of logging while drilling, or the limitations of logging while drilling, which is high cost, more expensive than the wireline logging. Telemetry limitations. Mud pulse telemetry has bandwidth restriction, harsh downhole condition, high temperature and pressure affect sensory performance. Also, for the most important point we'll talk about, which is the geosteering, which is a type of logging while drilling, which is a real-time drilling technique used to guide the wellbore within the most productive zones of a reservoir by interpreting downhole logging data. It combines logging while drilling and measurement while drilling, and real-time geological modeling to optimize well placement and maximize hydrocarbon recovery. And also from the advantages of geosteering, which is maximize reservoir exposure, reduce drilling risk, optimize wellbore placement, and saves cost, which is reduces need for corrective sidetrack. For the challenges or limitations of geosteering, which is high cost, requires advanced logging while drilling tool and software, complex real-time decision making, data transmission limits, which is mud pulse telemetry has bandwidth restrictions. Also, there is a video I want to share it with you about the geosteering. So we will see it and then we will continue.
Nowadays, significant portions of the world's total oil is extracted from not readily accessible reserves located in the Arctic deserts or shelves of the Arctic Ocean. With increasingly complicated drilling conditions, the need for cutting-edge technologies is growing. Moreover, lack of prompt decision-making may result in lost productivity and environmental hazard. Therefore, immediate acquisition and processing of the data on drilling parameters and reservoir properties plays a crucial role. Timely well path monitoring is critical. Correct wellbore positioning reduces the drilling risks, improves the well properties, and increases the hydrocarbon production. The GeoNav software package developed by Geosteering Technologies allows remote monitoring of the drilling process with complete control over all wellbore positioning parameters. GeoNav creates a model of the borehole and updates in real time using structural reservoir model and logging data. Real-time model enables the GeoNav users to continuously correct the well path.
Field data can be transmitted via terrestrial internet channels or satellite communication. GeoNav allows building the model based either on a very simple set of log data or on images. We know the importance of the effective cooperation of geologists, engineers, and drillers. GeoNav aims to facilitate the communication between operation geologists and drill crew to ensure outstanding results.
Okay. For methods of deflecting a wellbore, any number of the directional directional tools can be used to deflect a wellbore or make the wellbore go where we want it to go. For the whipstock, which is a deflection tool used in the drilling operation to divert the wellbore from its original trajectory. Commonly used in site tracking, wellbore abandonment, and directional drilling to bypass obstacles, access new reservoir target. And from its advantages, which is reduces drilling cost, speed up site tracking, can be used in cased or open hole, allows for multilateral well design. For the challenges or the disadvantages of whipstocks, requires precision settings, whipstock retrieval, which is maybe complex. Some designs are non-retrievable. Also for the rotary BHA, which is rotary bottom hole assembly, is a drilling configuration where the entire drill string, include drilling bit and stabilizers, is rotated from the surface by the rotary table or top drive. It is simplest and most traditional bottom hole assembly setup used in vertical, directional, and extended reach drilling. And from the components of rotary BHA, which is drill bit, stabilizers, drill collars, reamers, and hole openers, chock sub, and crossover subs. Also from the advantages of rotary BHA, which is efficient hole cleaning, durable in high torque environment, faster penetration in vertical wells. Challenges of rotary BHA, which is limited directional control, higher torque and drag in deviated wells, not ideal for high angle drilling. For the motor, which is steerable motor, which is a positive displacement motor with a bent housing or adjustable bend that allows for directional drilling without continuous surface rotation. Used in kickoff side tracking and horizontal drilling. And also from the advantages of steerable motor, which is cost effective compared to rotary steerable system, works in a low flow smart system, can operate in sliding and rotary modes, offer flexibility. And for the disadvantages or challenges, which is difficult in long lateral wells, requires frequent surveying for correction. For RSS, which is rotary steerable assembly, rotary steerable system, which is an advanced directional drilling tool that enables continuous rotation of the drill string while steering the wellbore. RSS allows for real-time wellbore adjustment without stopping or sliding, making it ideal for horizontal extended reach and complex directional wells. Okay. So as I said, for the whipstock, which is one of the earliest tools made up of metal wedge, and which is also a deflection tool used in the drilling operation to divert the wellbore from its original trajectory, commonly used in site tracking, wellbore abandonment, and directional drilling to bypass obstacles or access new reservoir target, as you can see here in the picture. The primary use of whipstock, which is in site tracking out of casing. So we will talk about the shear bolt, slips and bottom trip and bridge plug. Also for the shear bolt, which is actually a mechanical fastener designed to break a predetermined force, allowing tool activation. And from the advantages of shear bolt, which is predictable failure point, ensure control deviation, activation, sorry, and limitations of shear bolt, which is limited reuse. Once broken, the bolt must be replaced actually. For the slips, which is wedge-shaped metal elements within serrated edges that grip the casing or tubing when activated. And from the advantages of the slips, which is high load bearing capacity, can hold heavy loads, releasable or permanent, which is some slips can be disengaged. Bottom trip, which is a mechanical or hydraulic activation method that triggers a tool when it reaches a specific depth or bottom of the well. From the advantages, which is accurate depth-based activation, work in a high-pressure environment, which is reliable in deep wells. For the disadvantages, which is requires precise depth control, can cause premature activation. Mud weight and pressure can impact function. For the bridge plug, which is a plugging device used to isolate wellbore sections for testing, stimulation, or abandonment. For the advantages, which is can be run in various well conditions, suitable for high pressure and high temperature wells, which is HPHT, highly pressure and highly temperature wells, and prevent fluid migration. From the disadvantages, which is permanent plugs cannot be removed, risk of setting failure, improper deployment can cause operational issues. Also for rotary BHA, as I said, which is rotary bottom hole assembly, consists of a bit, drill collar, stabilizers, reamers, and also which is a drilling configuration where the entire drill string, including drill bit, stabilizers, which is rotated from the surface by the rotary table or top drive. For the building assembly, which is actually increases the wellbore inclination to transition from vertical to directional or horizontal drilling. From the advantages, which is effective angle build up smooth transition from vertical to inclined. Disadvantages, which is risk of excessive dogleg severity, can lead to drilling problems not suitable for vertical or straight sections. For the dropping assembly, decrease inclination to bring the wellbore back toward vertical or lower angle. From the advantages of dropping assembly, which is prevents excessive inclination, maintain better hole quality, and disadvantages of actually dropping assembly, which is may require extra drilling time, limited effectiveness in very short formation. For the holding assembly, which has a function that holds the existing wellbore inclination to maintain a consistent angle without increasing or decreasing it. From the advantages of holding assembly, which is reduces wellbore tortuosity, more predictable drilling performance, which helps in long lateral wells. For the disadvantages, which is not effective for rapid trajectory changes, can be affected by formation changes, requires real-time monitoring. Okay. For the formations, which is soft formations, include clays, red beds, shale, soft limestone, unconsolidated sand. Medium formations, which include calcite, dolomite, hard shale, limestones. Hard formations also includes calcite, cherty limestone, hard shale, mudstone. So those are the different types of formations, which is soft formation, medium formation, and hard formations. Okay. For the rotor versus the stator, which is the rotating component inside the stator that transfer torque and power to the drill bit. generates high torque for drilling in hard formation, works at low rotational speeds, introducing bit wear. For the disadvantages of rotor, which is high friction leads to faster degradation, sensitive to mud properties, requires proper viscosity and solid content. For stator, which is a stationary component that houses the rotor and direct fluid flow. And from the advantages of the stator, which is controlled torque output, absorbed vibration reduces shock on the bit. For the disadvantages, which is susceptible to temperature and chemical damage, higher failure rates in high temperature wells. So elastomers can swell or break down. Also for stator, which is flexible, rotor, which is hard, stator housing is thin, PDM, which is pulsar displacement motor. Is not a drill cooler. Also for PDM, which is pulsar displacement motor, is a type of downhole mud motor that converts the hydraulic energy of drilling fluid into mechanical rotation to drive the drill bit, which is used in directional drilling within within a steerable motor and rotary steerable system. Also, this shows, as for your knowledge, fluids under high pressure, fluid at low pressure cavity formed between the rotor and the stator. Fluid under high pressure, fluid at low pressure cavity also formed between the rotor and the stator. The same also fluid under high pressure, fluid at low pressure cavity formed between the rotor and the stator. So also for methods of deflections works on an offset pin and box concept, typically adjust from 1 to 3 degree. Four main components, which is the offset housing, spline mandrel, stator adapter housing, and the adjusting ring. Okay. This shows a typical steerable motor configuration, bent housing for changing directional when sliding the drill string, and the lower side, which is stabilizers, define directional tendency when rotating the drill string. Okay. Also for the rotary steerable, which is steerable without sliding, which is also can change both inclination and direction, which is an advanced directional drilling tool that enables continuous rotation of drill string while steering the wellbore in real time. Also for the limitations or the disadvantages of steerable motor, sometimes difficult to slide, difficulty maintaining orientation, poor hole cleaning, lower effective penetration rate, higher wellbore tortuosity, differential pressure sticking, build rate is formation sensitive. This shows the Schlumberger rotary steerable assembly for the base control unit and base unit. Also for the directional drilling conclusion, which is a rapid development after measuring while drilling in 1970, point and shot, which is least expensive, and actually for the geosteering, which is the most important point in today's session, which is most expensive actually. Also, which is a type of logging while drilling. And thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, Dr. Nabil, for this excellent session. It's indeed an honor following up with the great level of technical know-how and professionalism that you have showcased, and we are truly impressed. So I don't know if there is anyone who has a question. If you have a question, you can raise your hand up, or you can unmute and then ask your question, please. I would prefer you either raise your hand up and you'll be called. So, or you can unmute. If there is nobody speaking, you can unmute. But if there is somebody speaking, then you can just raise your hand. And before asking a question, please kindly introduce yourself so that we know who is asking the question for formality and for official purposes. Yeah, is anyone have any question from the presentation? Any questions? You can unmute from your end and ask.
Yeah. Good evening, house. Please, I would like the lecture. I would like the record of the lecture, please. Can you send us the record of the lecture?
Yeah, please come again with your question, please.
I said, can you please help us with the record of the lecture class today?
We are focused. Ask questions
Hello.
from the presentation,
Hello?
please.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello, go ahead. Someone who has question. Yeah, go ahead
Yes,
with your question.
I do have. Yes, in those directional drilling equipments, which of the stream bits is more rugged? I mean, directional is more rugged in maybe meeting a material and passing through it without breaking as it goes along. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go
Hello?
ahead with your question.
Yes. I said which of them is more rugged and which of them hits its target faster, and which of them goes also at a longer distance when compared to others. Thank you.
Yeah, doctor, did you get his question?
You mean which of the bets goes into long distance?
Yes, longer distance, and which one is more rugged? I mean, in terms of as it meets rocks, as it's going, which one of them can strike it easier and without getting damage? And which of them goes at a longer distance without damaging?
PDC, which is polydynamic crystalline beds, are the best for long horizontal and extended reach drilling. Hybrid beds are useful if formation changes frequently. And actually, it depends on formation type, torque, and rate of penetration, and durability.
All right. Do we have a specific degree to adjust to hit our targets easier and better?
Do we have a specific target? Do we have a specific what? I didn't get you.
That's a specific degree. That's a positioning. Like you said, the one that say you adjust from 1 to 3 degrees. Which of the degrees is better for one to adjust to get his target better as you are drilling?
Yes, different methods of wellbore deflection have a specific angle building capability, measured in degrees per 100 feet or per 30 meters. The choice depends on the deflection tool, BHA design, and formation characteristics. So the RSS system allows the highest degree of deflection while maintaining continuous rotation, and PDM, which is with an bent housing, is cost effective but requires sliding mode. That's it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Thank you.
Yes, I want to ask another question, please.
What?
Can I throw my question?
Yeah, you can go ahead with your question.
Yes, which of the gyro tools that he just mentioned is better, gives a more specific result? The one that is universal, that you don't need another one to help you. That's another gyro tool that you need to help.
Yes,
The
actually,
gyro tool that yes,
the most accurate gyroscoping tool depends on the required application and well environment. Among all gyro technologies, we have the ring laser gyro and fiber optic gyro provides the highest degrees. So best choice based on application. For cost-effective surveys, there is conventional gyro. For high accuracy and directional drilling, there is rate or north-seeking gyro. For ultra precise wellbore positioning, there is ring laser or fiber optic gyro. Those are the best choices based on applications. Is there any other questions?
Hello, good evening. Oh, good evening, Dr. Nabil.
Yes.
Okay. I'm very inquisitive about how the RSS works. I heard you said that the RSS can be adjusted in real time while drilling is going on. So I want to know how that is, how it works, and if it's by giving a command from a system on the surface, and it will take effect downhole. So I just want to know more how it works.
So how do RSS works, right?
Yes, how as yeah, especially when you said when you can
Okay, actually for the RSS, as I said, which is an advanced directional
where you say you can change
tool.
the angle of.
Okay, actually for the RSS, as I said, which is an advanced directional drilling tool that allows continuous rotation of drill string while steering the wellbore. It eliminates the need for slide drilling, precise trajectory control in directional, horizontal, and extended reach wells. How it works, the tool detects the well trajectory by using measuring while drilling or logging while drilling sensor. Pads extend and push against the wellbore opposite to the desired direction. This redirect the bit without stopping rotation. And also, as I said, for the advantages of RSS, which is continuous rotation, superior steering control, higher rate of penetration, which is faster drilling compared to mud motor, smoother wellbore reduces dogleg severity and improves casing and logging, work within logging while drilling, measuring while drilling tools for geosteering. Also, RSS used in horizontal and extended reach drilling, geosteering, deep water and offshore drilling, which is reduces downtime and improve efficiency. HPHT wells, which is handles extreme downhole condition. Multilateral and complex well path, which is ideal for 3D well trajectory. That's it. That's it. Is there any other questions? Again, if there is any questions. If there is no questions, I can send the link of the exam.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes, I'm Obet Charwe, the student of University of Zambia. Yeah, the question is toward the method of diffraction. Yeah, I heard the doctor said about limitation of steerable motors in the slide mode. Now my question is, what about if maybe you are drilling, then you find that the stride mode is not working? What are some of the techniques which you can use in order not to affecting the drilling? What are some of the techniques which you can use in slide so that you can continue drilling? Thank you.
Sorry, what are some techniques used inside what?
Yes, sir. About the steerable slide mode.
About what? Sorry, I didn't get you.
Yeah, anyway, I have a question here, please, Dr. Nabil. Hello, Dr. Nabil, please, can you hear me? I have a question here, please.
Yes, tell me.
All right. My question is, while drilling, how do you control the pressure of the water and gas that is coming out from the well? And the second question is that do you treat the water that is coming out before you discharge it into the open sea or maybe on the stream or anywhere? And what form of treatment do you give the water?
Actually, for controlling pressure while drilling is crucial for wellbore stability, preventing leaks, blowout, and formation damage. Pressure management involves monitoring, controlling, and adjusting drilling parameters to maintain well control.
What I mean is that there are some special kind of valves that you just position them maybe at the ground level, or maybe if it is at sea on the rig, in order to control the pressure.
Yes, I can use the primary control for mud system, secondary control, blow up preventer and chock, tertiary control, which is well control methods for drillers and weight method and MPD and others. So
So
those
now,
are to control the pressure.
so now then, how about the water that is coming out from the well directly? Do you treat it immediately, or you just discharge it directly as it's coming out?
For controlling pressure in water-related systems is critical
Yeah.
for wellbore stability, preventing leaks, managing flow rate, and ensuring equipment safety. The method depends on whether you are dealing with drilling, water injection, subsea pipeline, or reservoir pressure management. So you can use the hydrostatic pressure control or actually pressure control in water injection system. We can use a pump pressure regulation, chock and flow control valve, injection, well monitoring. It depends. And also for pressure control in subsea pipeline and water flow, which is surge pressure management, pressure relief valve, subsea pressure sensors, and hydraulic gas lift and subsea separation system, which is used to balance water pressure in multi-phase flow system. Also for reservoir pressure control, there is a water drive mechanism, which is controlled by aquifers or injected water. That's it.
So then how about the water? Do you treat it? Because you've not answered that. Do you treat the water? What kind of treatment do you give the water before you discharge it? That is just what I want to know, please.
As I said to you, for controlling pressure in water while drilling, we can use hydrostatic pressure control or back pressure control, which is managed pressure drilling, or choke and surface pressure management, or actually blowout preventer for water well control, which is used in high pressure water zone to prevent uncontrolled flow.
You have not yet answered me, Dr. Nabil. You are just talking about controlling pressure. I'm just talking about treatment of water. The water that is coming out from the well directly.
You're talking about water treatment in drilling?
Yes.
Actually, water plays a crucial role in drilling operation when using water-based mud or drilling fluid and water injection. Proper water treatment ensure optimal drilling of performance, prevent contamination, and protect equipment and the environment. So we can, for water treatment, which is important in drilling, we have to prevent scaling and corrosion, remove, contaminate, improve drilling mud performance, protect formation and reservoir, meet environmental regulations. For water treatment process in drilling, we have to use the filtration and solid removal chemical treatment for water-based mud like hardness control, bioseed, which is kill bacteria and prevent mud degradation, oil and debris removal, which is oil-water separators, activated carbon filtration, produced water treatment, which is well flow, pack, and disposal. And also there is water management and drilling sites, which is for recycling, reduces, and re-injection into reservoir. That's it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions before I send the link of the exam?
Okay, Doc, I think there's no question, so we can more questions, so we can proceed to share the exam link. You can just drop it in the chat box. Then when they take the exam, they can share the screenshot of their results at the end of the exams.
Okay, so I can share now the link of the exam.
Yes, you can share. So what you guys need to know is that only
Okay.
those that who
Actually, the
perform
form of the
success.
exam is the chat box now.
Okay, so that's excellent. So for those who want to participate in the exam, you have the link in the chat box and you can get access to the exam directly via that link. So just check the chat box, you will see it and you'll be able to make meaningful value out of it by participating in the exam so that you can be able to evaluate your participation in the training. And also take note that your participation is key because if you actually need a certification for this course, this short course, you actually have to participate in the examination. And if you're participating in the examination, you also need to ensure you are successful in terms of the gradings. So once you're done with the examination, you will see your scores automatically. So the link will be left open till it's done. So today that was a rounding up of the directional and horizontal drilling course. So on this coming Friday, we will be having the petroleum refining course. It will take place on Friday and then round up on Sunday. And same time, 7 p.m. And to also booster and support the project in terms of giving out this knowledge that is going out, the organization has deemed it fit and necessary that certifications are not mandatory, But however, those who need the certificate will only pay a mega token of $4 or its equivalent in their various currency to be able to support the trainer and whatever activities is taking place so that the project can continue to go far to scale up for others. However, we need to remind you all that this training is actually free for all, because if you are supposed to pay for this training, these are trainings that should, each of these courses goes at the cost price of $1,000 for each of them at the global scale when we do these training programs in the, for companies that seek for their staffs to be trained. But however, with the presence of IGTA and considering their visions and their missions to give out training, free trainings to people who are actually in need, and to be able to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor, we understand that most of the times, most of the people who come through IGTA for training are not financially buoyant. So that is why upon the various pleas that we have been able to break down to see to it that okay, all those who actually need the certificates, they actually get the certificates to be able to showcase your technical know-how in the course. You should be able to get them at a meager amount. And take note that the certificates from IGTA are recognized globally, and not just the global recognition. Our standard is not questionable, as over time we are amongst the top leading organizations in the world that are in the training industry. And don't forget that your trainer also is someone who is leading in the industry. So you were not just trained from a random perspective, but you were trained from a sound perspective. So I encourage you all to participate in the exam, even if you don't need the certification, because it's always good that you should be able to evaluate the knowledge, how much you assimilate. And in evaluation, you can also be able to grade yourself how effective you are in listening comprehension as well as participating in examination. And without saying much, I want to appreciate you all once more for being on this call today to be part of this session and for sharing your knowledge. So, okay, I think for your chat form, I will discuss with those that are in charge so that we can play with them to permit you to be able to share. So when you finish taking your exams, you can screenshot, and probably I will, after this call, we'll see if Dr. Nabi can collate the list of those from the back end, those who are successful. Let's have a publication of it for official purposes and for documentation. So, yeah, so if there is any question, you can ask now. Someone is trying to speak. Yeah, is there someone trying to speak? Hello, is there anyone who is trying to speak?
Yes, good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, my name is Emachi Prince. Please, I'm just joining a few minutes ago. With respect to the exams, I want to ask, is it mandatory that we must do the exam now and submit it tonight, or there's a limited time for students to take the exams and submit?
You can take the exam between now and before the next class. Yeah, so you can take the exam between now and the next class, which should be Friday. So the next class which we are supposed to have is supposed to, that is I think, yeah, petroleum refining is supposed to come up next week, Friday, this coming Friday. So anybody who has to take the exam should ensure you do so between now and latest by that Friday. So after then, it will no longer be possible. So you guys are encouraged to take the exams, but ensure you review the class work that was the class session. You can, those that are taking screenshots, you can go through it over and over till we meet again. So see you all on Friday. If there's no other question. Any other question? You speak. Yeah, I see your hand raised. Okay, I think it's not a valid hand. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure having you all here tonight. So take your time to go through the exams and ensure you do your best in terms of performance, and we'd like to get your feedback from you all. So thank you all for being part of this session. And I hope to see you all again on Friday. Petroleum refining is also another short course that is very renowned and having a lot of prospects. So those who are actually interested in it, you don't want to miss that. So I encourage you all staying tight and see you all on Friday. So good night to you all and
Hello.
happy Eid
Hello.
to the Muslims that are into the
Hello.
festivities.
Hello.
Yeah, what's your question? You didn't ask a question when you were called to.
Yes, my network went off.
Hello, what are you trying to say? Go ahead.
About the exam. When is it to submit the exam?
You will see the list for the exam. However, when you're done taking the exam,
Hello?
you can screenshot your results and keep
Hello?
this call, but the list will also be released.
Hello? Like now, can we take it tomorrow? Because of my network is very shaky here.
That question was responded to already. The exam portal will be left open between now and Friday latest. By 7 p.m. on Friday, it will be closed when the next course, petroleum refining, is starting. So ensure you take it between now and latest Friday.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So you're welcome. So good night to you all and have an amazing
Okay, but the link. Okay, thank you.